Wow. You managed to push the victim's name out of my mind when you said that.
It's dubious.
I didn't mean to.
Oh, you gotta speak it.
Well,
You haven't spoken.
I will, but let me just get the name first. Odie Asman. Oh, and also we met, met Van Zeeks' masked apprentice. Oh, my cool name actually said, wait, present your badge to Van Zeeks. He said something. Well, I accidentally did anyway, so. I know you've seen this around my arm before, but.
What is it exactly?
It's the mark of a defense lawyer. In Japan, at least.
And what's your reason for showing it to a British prosecutor?
Oh, well. I don't know, really.
I can understand, at least. There's merit in reminding yourself of who helped you become what you are today.
Oh.
That's a personal matter, something you may want to keep close at all times, not something to flaunt.
No, I suppose not. Thank you for understanding that. Oh, we got an achievement!
Achievo! Thank you, cool name.
I mean, I accidentally stumbled into it, too.
There should be a little soundbite for when somebody helps you in the game.
I should make that as a... I need to set up my... I have a Stream Deck now. I need to set it up.
Yeah.
I was
Something
going
like-
to this weekend, but...
It's like, finally, backseat gaming paid off.
It'll just be Knuckles being like...
Do you want to die? Yes, I do.
Sonic, yes, I do. So, out of context memes, sorry.
Yeah, no. I'll make you eat those words.
No, cool name, you don't need to apologize for backseating.
No, I'm just. It truly is one of the one time I've ever seen backseat gaming be good.
I'm not even sure I'd consider that backseating.
Yeah, well, it's tough to call in this kind of game. Yeah.
Either way, where are we going?
Well, we haven't gone to prison.
I mean, we've gone to prison, but not today.
We haven't gone to prison today. The 22nd of October.
Yeah, cool name. I didn't do it because I did it by mistake. I would have done it since you said that either way, but I accidentally just slipped and did it when trying to look at Odie Asman's profile.
Oh yeah, because I said it was dubious, but it was dubious is odious, man, not dubious, man. Dobie Asman is his brother.
It'd be Doobie Asman.
Doobie. That sounds like
he's the third Doobie brother.
I was gonna say, yeah, it sounds like a Skulkin brother knockoff.
Hey, we're the Asman brothers.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
The warden's at cell 11. That's this one.
It's the same cell that every time, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so. They should aesthetically change them, but let me get my my falsetto going.
Cool name said this dude reminds him of an ex of his. Ah.
Hopefully they're good memories.
Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look.
What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain. Okay, I need to... I'm prepared for this, but I need to mentally...
Yum, 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 yum.
Who are you? Rionuski no Haru, I'm a defense lawyer. A lawyer! Ag, was there something I said? A lawyer, you say? Would you be here? Any about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yesterday's demonstration! That demonstration was... The Ben Gifted demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success, by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in science. When it's explained, all they leave at high velocity.
Yeah, calm down, dude.
Now's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal has made my concentration leave for a while too. Okay, converse, I assume.
Let's do it.
You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
The papers called it a failure. After all, a man died in an explosion, didn't he?
Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success.
Great success.
You've lost me. I saw it with my own eyes, right in front of me. Mr. Asmund was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Asmund in fact perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asmund was an accident, correct?
But the bigwigs have you arrested on suspicion of murder.
I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished at once. But murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see.
Haley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder.
How exactly?
Well, if it was really an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody.
On what grounds? Yes. It's newly established here in Britain. The Great Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
Ooh,
That one passed me by.
But if the case is treated as a murder...
Then the same machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pore over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to be an accident in tomorrow's trial. I see now.
He doesn't even care. He's like, yeah, I'll go to jail. I just don't want them to get my machine. A true scientist.
So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes! Or rather, no! The devil's in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me.
You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating!
Cool name. You hope your machine is protected by that act? Dare I ask what your machine is?
You owe it to yourself for the answer.
Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see. That's my amazing hypothesis.
That's you're missing a couple key details.
Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science.
Oof.
Oh, but dare to imagine it. Dare to dream of such incredible technology.
I like that little shimmy.
Of him?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Cool news that you can ask, but if I tell you, I will be banned. And it's probably best not to. Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Parisian Theatre, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole of a vast planet would be within reach. So no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days.
I don't really see it like that.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like a trunk.
My word! That's exactly right! What are the implications? What does this mean?
Oops. That's got Professor Bunnybrain really worried by the look of it.
Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. You scientists were so concerned over whether you could, you never stopped to think whether you should. The point is, my calculations are flawless. Science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. That's always the fly in the ointment.
Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have.
That's exactly it, yes.
Haley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science.
But anyway, I bumped into him at the right time.
He didn't even have anything to say about it.
Just ignores her.
Just ignores her. Wow.
I met the well-known investor, Mr. Asman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean?
Like, I don't think he realizes that he's speaking to a 10-year-old genius.
The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Asman, wasn't it? Cool names. I like how they call him young even though he's 30. 30's young for, like, a scientist or something.
Who? Oh, Hairbrain is 30?
According to Cool Name, which I assume that is true. 33. Wow. It's older than me. Wow, now I feel young because I'm younger than that. Then again, Van Zeeks is 33. What exactly was your relationship with the man? He first visited me at my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I think my lucky stars. I see, so you hadn't really known each other until then.
Money from scientific research? I'm so envious.
As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the great exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Asman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications.
But then you're doomed for blown to dust in one enormous explosion.
Coolness says, I'm saying they don't treat 30 as that old, unlike other anime type things. It's refreshing. True, I think that, I think 30 is how old, Raven was in, Tales of Vesperia, and everybody literally always called him an old man. Including himself.
Yeah, there's a character in Monarch, that new game from NIS America.
Yeah.
There's a character that literally is like, oh, these old bones, and I'm like, you look like you're in your mid-20s. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, I feel the old bones part.
I mean, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, he's like out of breath, and it's like, oh, I'm an old man. Like, you should play the demo and see what I mean.
Maybe. Raven, on top of the constantly being called old and also calling himself old, he also can, like, randomly do backflips, like, from standing position, just without, not even, like, on your hands, just, like, a full flip in the air. And he does them even in the middle of the desert when they're, like, complaining about the heat. And it's just like, okay, sure, you're old.
That's a big Master Roshi energy. But Master Roshi was actively old.
Yeah, but like Raven also is like, I can't keep up with you youngins, and then he does a backflip in the middle of the desert. And like,
I just can't keep up with you whippersnappers. Watch me do a triple axel backflip.
oh yeah, cool. Now I know about that, but we're going to be doing 999 on stream eventually, probably. So I will not read that one out loud.
Oh, spoilers!
As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asmund. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Yeah, I don't know how well I'm doing it, but I was kind of going for a combination of like Speed Racer and like, who is it from Star Trek? William Shatner.
William Shatner.
Like,
I don't know.
Talking
Trek,
fast with random pauses.
Yeah. I can see that. But yeah,
because he's a scientist, but also he like his movements, if you watch, are very like fast.
Yeah. I like the direction. Yeah.
I understand Lord
There's
Van Zeeks is a friend of yours from your university days. Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? Good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-round nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Barak Van Zeeks. What was he like when he was at university?
Talk about a leading question, Reno.
As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zeeks family, with all its great aristocratic origins.
He's a little darling. That's so funny.
Coolname started to flirt with Hairbrain and then said he shouldn't because Van Zeeks might kill him for that.
Oh yeah, they've definitely dated for sure.
I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood.
Little darling. For anybody that missed last stream, Van Zeeks and Hairbrain went to college together and were like best friends, they said. So. It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learnt what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Grillim, your gaydar went off with the chart for this case. Really? What sort of event? I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zeeks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. I mean, he's gonna find out tomorrow then, like... So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying? You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4, I swear it.
That is correct.
Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all of this, but still. I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life. Not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories. But I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court.
All right, Reno, it's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition.
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. Okay, so where?
To the Great Exhibition.
That's not an option!
Experimentation stage, go! Go!
22nd of October, the Great Exhibition. Grounds. Foot of the Crystal Tower.
Foot.
Look, the showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now. I felt myself swooning 3 times.
Ooh, swoon.
There are lots of people here. There are lots of people, aren't there? Have overs been trotted on 3 times, too?
Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday.
Oh, oh, oh.
What's this? What's this?
Oh, I
There's
think I
white
know who
things
it
in the
is.
air.
I think I know what it is.
What? I can hear voices from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Who is it? Who do you think?
I think it's what's her face?
Who?
Gina.
Why do you think Gina's in this?
Because you mentioned last time that if we had done it in a different order, then I would know what Gina's up to. Ha
Alright, I had it with you this time. Warn you, I'll rest you in a minute.
I'm an ace detective. More like more like dupe ace defective.
You've said a few times during this game that, like, you're, like, glad that you didn't have to voice her anymore, and...
Yeah, every time I say that she's literally been just haunting me. Every time I say I'm done, she just rears her head back.
Hey, she's like my favorite character still in this series.
I like her. I like her a lot. She's a fun character. I don't think I do justice to the accent.
Or Cockney.
I don't remember. I always like don't commit this accent to memory to my detriment. Oh, fish and chips, isn't it? Okay.
Oh, yeah? Go on then, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence, and you know it.
Wait, I know those voices. I've got a cheeky mouth on you, young lady, but not in the cells to teach you some manners.
Just try it, I dare ya. If you want that bag of chips ran down your throat.
You got it back.
You gotta give me some lines.
Yoo-hoo! Gregson! What are you doing up there?
Ah! Ah! It's you, here! You're here! Here you are! You, here! Your ladyship! How are you, your ladyship? I hope you're well, your ladyship. Does that make her 3 times a lady?
I'm not Whittle.
I'm not. Whoa.
I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there's a 3-hour queue.
Unbelievable! I'll go to have a word for you at once, your ladyship.
Oh my gosh.
You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you.
Oh, we have to introduce him.
Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Was he not in the previous case?
I mean, he was.
He
but like,
was,
that's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Why do we have to introduce
Why are we
him?
introducing him again? Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now.
Oh, that's why.
He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be. Watch it, sunshine.
Oh,
Sorry.
breaking the fourth wall.
What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case.
That's how good of a detective he is.
You figured out that Renowski's on this case?
No, that he can. He knows that there's a fourth wall.
I mean, don't we all?
Ugh.
Look at camera.
Look at camera.
Yes, I'm acting for the defense.
So we're here to investigate.
That's the situation, is it? Also, sorry, Mr. Comic Coolney, about how many times you swooned playing this game. Is it really that troubling? And I agree that Gina's cute and fun.
A measly 5 bob? Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't ya? You could stand to carry a bit more copper in your pockets, Mr. Narodo.
What? Hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is.
Oh, not anymore. You can have it back, but I have to charge you for the bother. 3 bob.
You didn't even pay us for us defending you in court. This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket, diver born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court.
What's your problem, mate? Oh no. Diver, pickpocket, what's all the name calling?
You called yourself a diver!
She's also aware of the fourth wall, so is she now a detective as well?
You want a bag of chips around down your throat, do ya?
I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you were up to your usual tricks here at the showground.
Does ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. After years a long time, people can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. She is!
Yeah,
She is! It's canon! Canon!
She's named after a Scotland Yard detective in Sherlock Holmes. So.
I'm saying it's canon that detectives in the Ryunosuke, Naruhodo, Ace Attorney universe
Can break the fourth wall.
can break the fourth wall. They're so good at detectiving.
So you'll have to call me what everyone else does, Inspector Lestrade now.
997.
She's numbered 900. Should have been 999, then it would have been Easter egg.
Should have been 666, then that'd be an Easter egg.
Oh.
But a completely different book.
Yikes.
Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part is entirely accurate, no one calls it that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
What's that supposed...
Sorry.
What's that supposed to mean?
Coolname asked if Gumshoe can break the fourth wall.
Yeah, I thought he could.
So he's a detective
Didn't
from
he?
Scotland Yard?
No, I didn't say that you have to be from Scotland Yard to break the fourth wall. I said you have to be a detective.
You said all detectives from Scotland Yard.
Oh, did
The
I? I
exact
meant
wording.
in my head. I meant detectives in the. I can't think of the name. Give me a second. The Gaku and Saiban.
You mean Ace Attorney?
Ace Attorney. Thank you so much. Is it crazy that I remember the Japanese name for the series, but not the English one? In the entire Ace Attorney, I think detectives are so good at detectiving that they can break the fourth wall because they can detectivize that's there. Detective.
Trying to think of all the detectives, but sure. Right, well, we'll be up top. You hold the fort down here, right?
Right, sir.
Which is why Gina, even though she knew that there was a fourth wall there, she couldn't interrupt the blackout part. She can only interrupt once it faded back to regular time. Because she's not yet a full detective.
She's aware of it, but she can't interact with it.
Like she freezes like everybody else does. Because she hasn't been able to break past the barrier.
So it's like me. I know the fourth wall is there, but I don't know where to even look yet. I just
look to camera. That's not what the camera is, Jeff.
This raises a lot of questions. Yes, her theme's back.
I didn't even remember that this was her theme.
It's one of my favorite themes in the game.
I mean, it's a fun theme.
It's like a tango.
It is very, like, tango-y.
Okay, might as well examine first, because we've learned our lesson, I think.
Yeah.
The Crystal Tower. Certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and with all the glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan.
There are a lot of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, it's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery and a zoo and a museum.
Doesn't feel like it would fit in there.
But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors.
Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw.
And thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut.
I thought there was a 3-hour queue.
Suddenly it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower.
Apparently, everyone's taken to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead.
We're talking to the skies.
Talking to the skies? Hey, Sky! What happened?
Hey! What are you doing up there?
I'm walking it!
I'm floating here!
I'm existing between the stratosphere here! There's a 3-hour queue to go up in a balloon now!
Londoners must be very patient people.
You could not pay me. Actually, I lied. When I was in the Peace Corps, I had to wait in line for 7 hours. It was rough.
For what?
The ATM.
Ooh.
Yeah, because we got paid at the beginning of the month with everybody else, and I did not have disposable income of any kind, and I had to withdraw money that day specifically to be able to pay rent. So I couldn't just leave and come back another day. It was bad. I ended up getting water at the store and sharing it with everybody because people were actively getting dehydrated. And they were cutting in line too. By the end, like
have a good evening, Cool Name.
Bye, Cool Name. By the end of my wait, people were trying to get in line, and like the other people in the line were like, "No, the American boy was there first. He gets to go." And I started to cry, and then everyone clapped. It's true. It happened.
Uh-oh, you froze on camera.
Oh, I froze?
There, fixed it.
I was going to say, I'm not frozen in my camera.
No, just on stream you were. Okay, well...
But yeah, I thought it was ridiculous to wait for 3 hours, but it's not.
I mean, it is, but...
How long have you waited in line for something?
I really don't know. Probably less than 2 hours.
Like a midnight release or something, do you think?
No, I think longest would be at like Disney, and generally I don't think I've done anything that was like longest line. I think I went in would say 2 hours, but it was less.
Yeah, I would like fast.
It'd be like more like an hour and a half or an hour and 40 minutes probably. So less than 2 hours probably.
Yeah. And if you should share your stories about how long
But
you waited in line. Just write in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe, hit the notification button to stay up to date with all the content that's coming out.
I was gonna say that but Disney, then you have to cumulatively add up all the lines you're waiting in, because most of your entire day is waiting in lines.
I was gonna say, don't they have like apps now too, where you literally can like digitally wait in line?
No, they don't. You have to physically.
Oh, I thought they did.
You can get like one fast pass at a time, but
yeah. Okay.
Oh, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth.
It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It's extremely durable.
Cool Name just left.
It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well.
Maybe that means it has something to do with the explosion.
Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn.
Coolham said he came back for that one line. It was his summoning.
Classic Cool Name. From the rift, they appear. That's so funny.
For some reason the ground is damaged in the spot, look. Almost as if there were a fire here or something.
Yes, if you look closely, yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers too.
No worries, Cool Name. Yeah, I've done that too. He forgot to close the tab, so he was still lurking.
Mm.
Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been.
I mean, I'd bet an eyelid.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if there's a fire, people pay attention to it.
People aren't like there's a bigger thing going on over there. I'm gonna ignore the fire right next to me.
Yeah, like I might not do anything. Like, I wouldn't try to like put it out by myself, but like I might be like, hey, is anybody taking care of this? Yeah, okay, cool. Let me walk away. Or like, no, we should probably get somebody to take care of this.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'd like turn to the fire and be like, hey, can you just like wait? They're dealing with something else.
I'm burning here.
Well, get in queue.
Yeah, the fire's getting in the queue.
I heard there was a zoo. I want to go see it.
I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Bruno. Ah! It looks like somebody just...
Yeah, it does.
It looks like somebody dropped something behind the tree just here.
Dropped or hid?
That doesn't look very well hidden.
What is this? Some part of the machine that exploded?
Looks like a crossbow.
Maybe it could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What's going on here?
Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case.
I think that's a crossbow.
I actually realized we haven't looked at this. It looks like layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. I've never seen anything like it before. But applying Mr. Shulman's methods, he might deduce it was part of a raincoat worn by someone who really, really didn't want to get wet. And the charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Or maybe not. I don't know, that seems pretty on point for, like, Sholmes' deductions.
Yeah, I would say it would make sense.
I mean, I wouldn't say it makes sense, but...
In this universe, it
I'd
does.
say it'd be something he'd say. Okay, there's a little...
Yeah, it really does look like a crossbow.
There's some sort of lever here.
Oh, I was right!
What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun.
It looks like a cross between a cross and a bow.
It looks like a gun between a cross and a bow. I think it's probably used for the same thing, too. You don't have anything to say about anything, Iris?
Iris is... She's just feeling it.
This groove here must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. So I was right, it's a sort of bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with the bowstring 2 times out of 3. Shady said it's a step ladder.
Oh no! Cursed.
In fact, if I had one of these, maybe I could have beaten Kazuma in Kyoto archery training. Oop. The lever. Looks like you could wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire arrows with a huge amount of force using this device then. In fact, I would imagine it's far more accurate and powerful than a Japanese longbow. Ugh, I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this at the exhibition grounds.
That's where the curve ended up after the instant kinesis or whatever they call it. Dead, of course.
And yet they're calling the experiment a success.
What's the wooden scaffold? Therefore, the coppers, a lad, set up there after the incident happened. To get the border down, I think. To now, really.
Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then?
Nah, looking through things more my thing, wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff.
Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap with some sort of invisible kinesis? I've been meaning to ask you for a while now, but what are those funny round blobs floating in the sky?
Oh, they're flying balloons I've been talking about. I want to go up one so much.
I've read about situations like this in a magazine about strange phenomena. Creatures from outer space coming in round flying objects to attack Earth.
What?
I suppose inhabitants of other planets are bound to be interested in the great exhibition. This is it, Iris. It's happening.
It's not. Don't worry. I'll explain it to you later over a nice cup of tea, Bruno.
Didn't she already explain how hot air balloons work to her, Tim? I thought they discussed that.
They did. Oh,
It was 8
time
months.
rift.
It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in connection with the case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder.
I had a lot of time to think in person. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The dive-ins weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done.
So you went from being a pickpocket to a detective.
You got it. Good in it. Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of the book, eh?
Talk about a sea change.
And then there's Iris, old man, to think about.
Iris's father, you mean?
Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull up all the stops looking for him.
Just a small promise then, nothing serious.
Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's how come I've had to go with the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is I don't read so well, do I?
Just a small problem, nothing serious.
That's when Hurley approached Gregsy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and make her sort of an apprentice.
That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson, and brave.
Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants.
The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words.
So, long and short of it is, if you have questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade.
Right
Stayed. Case
Inspector.
Lestrade.
Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there?
Oh, what, Reno? What?
Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she still is.
Come on, you're still not on about that, are you? The Legend of the Reaper, whatever it's called? God, you don't have to worry, Odo.
If I didn't half worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left.
It's like I told you before, innit? The Reaper's kind of like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. That ain't really nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong might be stretching a point.
What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he?
Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought.
Exactly, so I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. God, it was out his world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine and suddenly it started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I never seen an experiment here yet. I never seen a better experiment here yet.
Is that what is it?
Yeah.
What are buttons?
Oh no!
What are buttons?
What are buttons?
Yeah, it was better.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I never seen a better experiment here yet.
You mean you saw it, Ginny, with your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean?
The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. It's going to take some getting used to.
So, all I have to say is that I'm on duty and I can do whatever I want to. Get this. I was up in the flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. No! You're so lucky, Ginny! Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too! Yeah, do it! You know, I'll put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You'll have no trouble at all. Then it's settled. Where do I start?
No, you can't join the Scotland Yard, Iris.
Well, we'll see. Anyways, what I don't understand is this. The machine exploded so spectacularly.
Hey there, Miss Mango. How are you?
Miss Mango! How can Professor Bennybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success, in a way.
It was. How can it have been?
Well, because he was teleported. I mean, he just killed.
Surely if the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success.
It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke and all that whopping great bang.
I'm all right, Miss Mango. Inheritance.
How am I?
Yeah.
How am I? I'm good. Doing okay. I'm playing Pokemon Legend. Great. I got one more Pokemon to fully complete the Pokédex. So it's great. But where do you think they found the victim's body? In the Crystal Tower over there.
Yeah, I'm in the 4th area of Pokemon Legends. I've had a lot going on. I haven't been able to put as much time in as I want, but I've enjoyed what I've played so far.
Yeah, well, I also hyperfixate on games and do nothing but play them, so it's kind of a problem.
True, but a big portion of my friend base at this point has beaten the game, and I've yet to have enough time to. But
Yeah.
it is fun, Miss Mango. If you haven't tried it and you have the ability to, it's probably worth it. It's very different than most Pokemon games.
I got that
You read the
is
sign,
it
right?
called? Yeah, is it called Rainbow Billy and the Leviathan's Curse? I think that's what it is. But I got it because Miss Mango was playing it on her stream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
I've actually been playing. I know, Mango, you did Nobody Saves the World. I've been playing that with my friend Shady. What? In the tower?
You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold.
Oh, you haven't started Nobody Saves the World. Yeah. Hope you have fun. It's a really fun, silly game.
Oh, well, the glass is broken, you mean? Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with. Really did get beamed through the air, but everyone landed all the way over there. So you see, it did kind of work, didn't it?
What? I don't believe it.
I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but if anything's possible, right, with science. Oh, I tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan for the experiment they drew up at the yard.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go on. I've had 3 bob off you before, so it's fair.
Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? You're gonna lurk listening to our performance? Well, thank you, Miss Mango.
Thank you.
Is there... No, just big magnifying glass.
Listen, and they're gonna make it count for one single thing later in the game.
About the investigation. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. What it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
It was 5 minutes ago.
I remember that like it was 5 minutes ago.
No, I just like the thought they still remember it like it was yesterday and
No,
remember
I
it's
know,
just
yeah,
actively
yeah.
worse.
No, that was my point. That was the joke that I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Yes, not Joe Gregson ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh, right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We represented the defendant.
In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations?
Nah, you ain't getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither.
Why?
What would the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think? Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit?
So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can investigate. Yes, I've never heard something like that before.
Is this literally like the birth of the forensic investigators?
My lips are sealed.
I thought I got a gun done quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down here, didn't ya? It's all bleating fair.
I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember it.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think all them chips won't make him so stubborn. You say something to him, Odo. Come on, see if you can get through to him.
He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is.
We can try, can't we, Runa? Grexy will listen to us.
Okay. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted.